الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and good afternoon to all. My name is Amir Rafiq and it's my absolute pleasure to extend welcome to each one of you present here at this seminar. We deeply apologize for the delay for the presentation. We are thrilled to witness such enthusiastic participants and highly in audience gathered to deepen the understanding of this important topic. Let us begin our session this afternoon by reciting the Ummul Kitab Al-Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Alhamdulillah, we are grateful to the Almighty as we are about to attend this oral session presentation of the Minister of Japan International Da'wah Seminar Masjid this afternoon. For information, we have four presenters that will be presenting for this session, and each presenter is given 10 minutes to present their topic. A 2-minute notice will be given before the time ends, and if there are any questions, please write them on paper, and you can ask them after the four presenters have finished. Now, we start with the first presenter. I would like to introduce Dr. Alwani Ghazali with her paper, The Significance of Interreligious Dialogue for Sustainable Dawah Efforts in Multi-Religious Society. Please proceed. From here.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So the title looks quite long, but it's actually a simple thing. I would like to talk about how our conversations, especially on the social media or the open platform, can affect our da'wah to the others, to the non-Muslims. Next. Kalau saya pun kita buka tempat.
Ya, betul.
Change the
Itu kali itu.
file.
Katukan.
Oh, tak tahu.
Boleh ke?
Ke bawah kan?
Boleh. Alamak.
Jam.
Okay. First of all, I'm not sure whether our brothers from and sisters, any sisters from Japan, know about Malaysia, the composition. I'm not sure about that. So let me just introduce. In Malaysia, we have people of multi-religious background. Muslims being the majority in the country with 63.5%, and the rest, Buddhist is the second place. The rest, other religions. Christianity, although does not appear in number, based on our experience, we know that the number is larger than that. And of course, there are apostates or people, Muslims, who are changed to Christianity as well, but they kept their identity concealed. Okay, so basically this is the thing. Next one. In my presentation today, I'll be speaking about this technical thing, like this is normally how research is done. I'll start with the problem statement and then highlight my objectives, share my method, findings, and finally the conclusion. Next. Okay, I start looking at this particular topic when I notice there are heated debates occasionally. Some of the debates in our society are not important actually if we really think deeper using the yardstick of fiqh and also Islamic understanding. For example, last time, I think 2-3 years back, there was a debate among the Muslim society about whether the laundry service should be separated between Muslims and the non-Muslims. There are many responses on the social media, and the non-Muslims, of course, are reading all the comments. Second example is this one occurred in, I think, March, early this year, when our Minister of Education held a close meeting with teachers of religious Islam education. One of the points that she highlighted was how she was brainstorming. She asked, how are we going to present Islam which is friendly and compassion to the Malaysian community? She gave an example and she said that in my family, I do not allow my children to label their friends, non-Muslim friends, as kafir. And that when she spoke, somebody took the video, and with good intention actually, that person uploaded on the internet, but that became sensational. Controversies again, many comments, many including threats, death threats that she received from Muslims, Malaysian Muslims. And the third controversy is was in August, early August. This is regarding to the visit organized by a Da'wah organization in collaboration with our religious council in one of the states in Malaysia. So there was a visit to a temple, a Hindu temple. Because of being excited with the new experience, one of the participants, actually a student who is undergoing a training, our training, she expressed that she was delighted, she was happy, and she said that she didn't know that there were so many similarities between Islam and Hinduism. And that statement was taken out of context, actually out of concern as well, because the Muslims did not want that kind of statement to be something called religious pluralism. Do not equate the validity of Islam and other religions. But the way Muslims express their opinions are quite rude, and to a certain extent, some of the religious leaders are also involved in that. Of course, not by saying rude things, but some of their expressions are inappropriate. So, based on these three, next, I conducted research. So, my research, the main objective of the research was to highlight the importance of intra-religious dialogue to sustain the effectiveness of da'wah in a multi-religious society. The rest are minor. Next one. How did I do the research? I invited 7 religious leaders, but only 5 responded. I interviewed them based on the cases mentioned. I asked 5 questions. Next. My first question was, as a non-Muslim living in Malaysia, do you find the debate, those 3 cases, or discourse among Muslims on social media and public platforms regarding those issues offensive? I found that the 5 leaders, most of them said that they were not offended, but they were saddened. Okay, but one of the answers stood out. Okay, he answered that he was not offended, but he felt that most people will feel offended. Okay, most said saddened, not offended. Some of them said that there were diverse voices among the Muslim community, so that is expected. He said that he was aware that many are ignorant about religious teachings, Islam. So However, this is the most embarrassing thing. However, most of the intelligent Muslims were quiet, did not say anything. One of them said that the discourse was stupid and petty. Next one. So the second question was, if you answered no, can you explain why? All of them skipped the questions, despite saying that they were not offended. This is quite funny. Number three, okay, question number three was, what did you think about Islam when Muslims are overzealous about issues like those mentioned above on the public platform or social media? So I would like to see from the question whether the image of Islam was tarnished because of what the Muslims discuss. But fortunately, because they are religious leaders, they think that they are still positive about Islam. Nothing, they can separate the issue between religious believers and also the religion itself. They acknowledge that there is a human factor among the believers, and it's two different issues. Also, they understood as well that in that particular issues, driven by emotions. Next one. Question number 4. What do you hope for a multi-religious Malaysia in dealing with religious issues on the public platform, social media? There were various suggestions because these leaders are actually involved in interfaith dialogue and many activities which involve the unity and the cohesion, Malaysian cohesion. They want the country Act, the Federation Constitution to be prioritized instead of discussing about religious issues and controversies. There are ideas as well which want us to redefine. If you observe in Malaysian custom, I think Japan is more or less the same because we live in the East. The idea of dialogue or talking honestly about something is not in our custom. We tend to be silent. We do not bring a sensitive issue in our open discussion. So, according to one of the leaders, he or she said that that kind of culture must be changed to avoid the immature discussion on the social media. And then there's an emphasis as well on the social media ethics, emphasis as well on education, that we have so many responsibility to educate our own society. And most said that we need a conducive platform, not on social media, to reduce the tension. So meaning, if we want to do a dialogue, and especially the religious leaders, when these kind of heated debate are there, do not comment. Thank you. Do not comment on the social media. So the best is to go somewhere else in a closed space, safe space, and talk about the issue, discuss about the issue. The thing is that, as in many cases, intra-religious dialogue or dialogue among our co-religionists or among Muslims in our case is harder, more difficult as compared to inter-religious dialogue between other religious believers. Next. Okay. Most of them also want Malaysian society overall to focus more on issues and well-being which covers all religions. For example, poverty, just talk about poverty of all religions instead of focusing on doctrines, of course. Number 5. Dia tak boleh lama. Salah saya tak ingat.
Kalau untuk tersambung tadi sampai saya boleh sebab saya bukan bagian teknikal. Saya bagian I'm sorry for that.
Okay, the thing is, it's not in my storage. And I move the sudur.
Aha. 2 minit.
2 minit kan?
2 minit.
Sekejap saya tengok slide. Okay. Oh, I actually would like to show the quotations, but it's not that. Never mind. Okay, the fifth one. I asked them, imagine yourself being a religious believer of a religion affiliated by the majority. If you're a majority in a particular country, what would you do among your co-religionists, among people of the same religion? Okay, this is interesting. They said, if I am the majority in a country, I will not fear. I will feel comfortable. I will not feel insecure. I will trust other people. I will take care of the less fortunate across religious social status. Okay. One of them said, this is also something which is outstanding. Being a majority does not mean somebody or the group of people must dominate, but it means that they have to be more responsible to the minority. That answer actually really humbles me. And also the highlight, if we do the kind actions based on love, there will not be any fear and insecurity. Okay, and you can see the quotes of all the something that I feel interesting in the answers. Okay, finally, lessons learned from this simple survey, simple interview. As I mentioned just now, we really have to be careful of what we put on the social media. Be aware that the non-Muslims are also reading, and they are our mad'u. Embarrassing if we do not behave according to Islamic teachings. Number 2, more efforts needed to educate our own Muslim brothers and sisters. And that effort must be hand in hand. Not only da'wah, but islah have to be done at the same time. Okay, so I skip to conclusion. There is an urgency for us to reflect deeper. What does it mean to be Muslim? Last slide. Sometimes being a majority, we are complacent and we tend to think that being a Muslim, for example, means to be more rigid to the others. And the more rigid we are, the better, which is actually not true. Second point, there is a need for intra-religious dialogue model among Malaysian Muslims. And number 3, I've already mentioned that point. That's all from me. Thank you. Last slide. If there's any question, you can contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Dr. Arwani Ghazali for the presentation just now, which is on sustainable dakwah, how conversation sustainable dakwah, and some suggestion on how to focus more on issues involving religious issues, not just Islam. Now, for the second presenter, I would like to invite Ms. Eliza Muhammad Noor for her paper.
Okay. Okay.
Now, without further ado, please, you may proceed with your presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to everyone. Thank you to Mr. Chairman and also the organizers of MASJIDs. So I feel so grateful to be here to be able to present my paper titled, as you can see, Challenge Faced by Teachers in Imparting Understanding of Islamic Education Content through e-learning implementation, a study in primary schools. Okay, so the contents of my presentation includes introduction, LR, literature review, methodology, findings and discussion, and last conclusion. So next, and for introduction, it is elementary schools or primary schools where the groundwork for developing ethical and competent students is laid. A thorough or clear understanding of the Islamic education curriculum or content is necessary for students. So emphasis should be placed on providing a clear understanding, especially to students, to enable them to apply and practice the knowledge they acquire to cultivate good character. So, for example, in Islamic education, we have to let our students clear about the content or the curriculum so that they can apply what they have learned at school. Such as the most important is everything about Salah, so that they can practice in their daily routine or daily life. So before this, when the teaching and learning process took place in the classroom, physically or face to face, it was easy for the teacher to monitor or to communicate and interact with the students. So when COVID hits the whole world and e-learning need to be implemented, need to be fully implemented, it also affects the teacher's delivery method and further affects the students' understanding of Islamic education content, especially. So, for your information, in Malaysia, there have two methods of character building as stated by Ministry of Education. One is formal in at school, first by Islamic education for Muslim, and the second by no need. And the second by moral education for non-Muslims. So that's why the understanding of Islamic education content is very important. So next slide. Okay. Next slide. To review then. Okay. So this is an overview of the evolution of e-learning in Malaysia. So starting on 2000, with the establishment of the first virtual university that fully utilized information technology, it is multimedia university. And then 2013, the agenda of Ministry of Education to transform the education system through one Bestari Net. And then 2017, the Industrial Revolution 4.0 and focus on advancement in information communication technology and internet. And then 2019, the launch of Google Classroom and it's following the termination contract of One Bestari Net. And last 2020 and until 2021, full implementation of e-learning at home for all levels of education. So starting here to become paradigm shift for the Islamic education teachers to learn about e-learning in depth so that they can make their teaching and learning process more interesting and can attract the students to understand the syllabus. Okay, next slide. Okay, it's about Islamic education e-learning. Islamic education teachers also no exception. Also no exception to respond to the ministry to strengthen themselves with technological skills such as e-learning. So currently with the advancement of technology in the national education system, Islamic education is also incorporating various forms of technology in teaching, including e-learning. So e-learning serves as one of the key platforms utilized by Islamic education teachers to realize digital education in 21st century learning environments. So employing a range of multimedia tools in teaching and learning through e-learning represents a teacher's creative approach to improve students' comprehension of the subject content. So limitations and challenges related to teachers' technological competence and inadequate preparedness to adopt technology have adversely affected the successful implementation of e-learning, consequently compromising students' understanding of Islamic education content. Okay. Okay, next slide. So this study was conducted using qualitative method by interviewing 6 informants among Islamic education teachers. Okay, next slide. So the results from the analysis of the interview findings with the informants revealed that first, the results challenged by informants revealed that the challenge faced by teachers in imparting understanding of Islamic education contents through e-learning implementation are 3. First, because of the teachers' limited technological knowledge and skill for e-learning. And second is limitations in planning learning activities. And the third is limitations in the availability of e-learning facilities for Islamic education. So all the challenge above actually affected students on the aspect on their involvement in the e-learning class, such as when the teachers have limited knowledge about technology, then the planning of e-learning activities, lesson plan not so interesting and creative, so that the students not involved actively, then it will affect on their understanding about curriculum or the subject content. So last, as for the conclusion, I will keep it simple. As an Islamic education teachers, try to overcome the problems or challenges faced and make learning more interesting to understand about Islam. Okay, that's all for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ms. Nur Eliza for her presentation just now on e-learning for Islamic education that has evolved a lot from 2000 and now to 2021, and that there are a lot of things to improve for the future of for Islamic education. Now, for the third presenter, I would like to invite Dr. Azwan Mohsin for his presentation. You may proceed. No, sama. Ada jalan ni deh. Ano sama? Sekejap Sama. Alamak. Selesai kat mana? Oh, ni kan. Ni kan. Share. Kena share. Tak punya lah kan. Alamak. Prof. Sama kan? Sama. Ini sini.
Sini tu
Ini punya mouse. Buat apa? Ini mouse.
Ini daun.
Boleh, macam ni cara dia.
Okay.
Share screen. Cantik ni. Cantik. Cantik. Ini PowerPoint ni. Okey, sini. Sebelah sana. Tekan ni. Terus. Okey, baik. Tekan. Okey. Klik sebelah sana. Tekan ni. Tekan ni. Tekan ni. Lepas tu kita tekan mana? Mouse. Sebelah. Pergi. Okey, dia ni. Ni sikit ni. Ni. Okey. Susah. Kita balik. Okey.
We're very sorry for the delay. Now, Dr. Azman will proceed in presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wal aqibatu lil muttaqin wala udwana illa 'alal zalimin wa 'ala al-mursalin ajma'in. Allahumma ighfir li ummati Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma aslih ummata Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma tajawaz an ummati Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma ja'alna min ummati Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thanks, my dear brother and sister, especially Mr. Zulkarnain. I would like to present to you all my topics, my research and analysis of Salawat Kamilah practice in the state of Johor. You know Johor is the Yusha, near Singapore. Near the Singapore. Johor in Malaysia. Hopefully you will coming to Johor. Join with us in Salawat Kamilah practice, inshallah. Okay. Our overview topics. Actually, number 1 abstract, number 2 introduction, problems, objective, questions, LR, literature preview, list of location, result, for benefit model, compilation and recommendation. The study investigates the practice of reciting Salawat Kamilah in the state of Johor, Malaysia by comparing facts and data to provide analysis and overall insight into the authenticity of the practice with undertook field research methodology as well as library study with directly address the practice from another countries where it is observed. The outcome of the study show that even though the practice has gained acceptance across all levels and society in Johor, especially in Johor Bahru, its practice has also faced criticism, and objection, particularly regarding its authenticity based on the practice of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Sorry, because I'm a countryman. Actually, Mr. Yusha, we can show the salawat, sirah salawat. And we know we have many sirah salawat from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fi kitabil karim, inna allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabi. We try to moving da'wah by the simple of da'wah with salawat kamilah. So the sirah salawat. Actually, we gain 220 location salawat in Johor, but we analysis about 12 location simple dakwah with salawat kamilah, calling people, especially Muslim community, to reciting salawat, always reciting salawat. Inna allaha wa malaikatahu yusallun daiman abada wa sarmada, wa his angel to keep salawat to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the sirah with singing also. Allahumma salli salatan kamilatan wa salim salaman taman ala sayyidina Muhammadin alladhi tanqalu bihil uqadu wa tanfariju bihil kurabu وتقضى به الحوائج وتنال به الرغائب وحسن الخواتيم ويستسقى الغمام بوجه الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه في كل لمحات ونفس بعدد كل معلوم لك. We are doing this practice after Maghrib until Isya. حوالي ساعة واحدة مع الجماعة ونقرأ تهليل وننتهي بالدعاء. The problem statement, instead of Johor, when we do reciting salawat, we have a problem statement, a three problem statement. The practice of salawat kamilah received criticized and rebutted about the validity and authenticity of this recited prayer and practice, because this salawat not originally from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but our research, this salawat found by the Imam Ali Zainal Abidin. Problem number 2, the practice received objection regarding its importance to the Dawah movement. And number 3, it's also receiving fitnah or slander that there are element of superstitious and bid'ah which lead to shirk embedded in its prayer and practice. And then our objective, number 1, to analyze salawat kamilah from the recitation and its application is organized by Selawat Gathering, and I was one of the leader, our nakib in Selawat Kamilah in Johor. Number two, to identify the importance of Selawat Kamilah and its hukum is organizing the Selawat communal gathering as widely practiced instead of Johor, especially the congregation of Selawat at the mosque, musalla, religious school, primary, secondary, madrasah, highly education center, government department, leaders in the Department Islamic Region, Mufti Department, Government Department School Madrasah, Higher Education Center, and even in resident. Then research question. Question. What is number one? What is the short form of recitation and how it's applied in organizing its communal congregation? Number two, how important is the practice of salawat toward society, community, and the hukum in organizing to collectively in congregation? Number three, there any elements of superstition and bid'ah in the recital and form of recitation. We got a literature review, research by scholar, especially from Indonesia. And the result, Selawat Kamilah is not originate from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, nor the Sahabah and Tabi'in. Instead, it was inspired by the Prophet prominent descendant, Imam Ali Zainal Abidin, Karamallahu wajhah. Number two, Selawat Kamilah collective congregation has been better scheduled systematically by a well-organized organization, association, and would interest widely with Muslim communities. Result number three, this is not element of shirik. In fact, the practice strengthen the faith of Aqidah al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Shafi'i school of thought, Ash'ariyah, Maturidiyah, Junaidiyah, and Ghazaliyah from faith Aqidah and Sufism point of view. Finally, conclusion, the study show the positive effect and impact of Selawat Kamilah practice either performed individually or collectively in congregation, resulting is well-being and outer inner securities of the practices. Release it, recite and practice being far from any misleading or shirik element. Our recommendation for the simple da'wah for the future, we highly hope that this study will spur interest in the future research by scholars, especially at the PhD level. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Syukran lakum wa jazakumullah. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah al-azim wa lakum. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Question after one more presenter. Okay. Thank you to the Tajman for the insight presentation regarding Selawat Kamilah and its criticism practice in Johor. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Guru Nadia into the room for her presentation of Okay, the presenter may proceed.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Nur Nadia binti Masrum. I'm a director of Numa Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So my background of education, I have a degree and master in chemistry education. And previously, I'm a chemistry teacher that served for 13 years service in government sector in Sekolah Menengah in Malaysia. And now I already become a full-time entrepreneur and build my own company, Numa Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So why I'm becoming a full entrepreneur? Besides I become a full entrepreneur, actually I have a certificate from Ministry Health from Malaysia, and I'm becoming a breastfeeding counselor. Okay, so I have my personal experience losing my first child because my first child was intolerant to formula milk, and I lost her in the 21 day after she was delivered because I have lack of knowledge and I cannot breastfeed my baby, and my baby didn't get breast milk, and she experienced intolerance, and I lost her. So since then, I gained a lot of knowledge in breastfeeding and becoming breastfeeding counselor. Because of my pain losing of my first daughter, I dedicate myself to help thousands of breastfeeding mothers in Malaysia. Why? Because I believe that to invest in the future generation, we start to invest with a good education, akhlak, nutrition. And the best nutrition for babies are breast milk that only can be given through breastfeeding. Are you agree? Yes. Okay. So data from 2023 indicates that the global landscape of breastfeeding has significant change with varying success rate across different regions. UNICEF 2023 shows that only 48% exclusive BF breastfeeding mothers succeed in the world, including Malaysia. About 40% mothers can breastfeed their baby. So we are conducting this research, okay, to study about the efficacy of virgin coconut oil-based wound patches in enhancing nipple healing and supporting breastfeeding success. Usually, they have three main reasons why mother in Malaysia cannot breastfeed their baby. In Japan, there are very different situations. I know in Japan, okay, the government sector very supporting mothers to breastfeed their baby, but not in Malaysia. Usually, they have three reasons why mother cannot get value in the breastfeeding. The first one is because of lack of knowledge. Second one, lack of support. Okay, and then the third one because the breastfeeding pain experience. So this study actually to help all the breastfeeding mother go through the breastfeeding pain experience, and they can increase the successful rate of breastfeeding mother in Malaysia. So this is the first innovative product that use our local resource, which is a virgin coconut oil, as a wound patch. And this data, we recorded that 12.5 milligram over milliliter VCO or virgin coconut oil record that it can heal the nipple wound in just 24 hours. So what's the relationship what's the relationship between breastfeeding and dakwah? Because actually I think to educate mother to breastfeed their child in Malaysia is very hard. It's a very, very hard. I love my career as a teacher. I love to educate students. I love education. But because of getting very hard to educate a lot of mothers to breastfeed in Malaysia, I have to dedicate myself to, as a private sector, to help a lot of breastfeeding mothers since 2017. So I believe that in Surah Al-Baqarah, everybody knows in sentence 2 to 3, وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ. Mothers will breastfeed their offspring for 2 whole years for those who wish to complete the nursing of their child. Next. So breastfeeding holds a significant place in Islamic teaching, where it is not only viewed as a natural means of providing nourishment, but also as an essential right of the child. The Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah encouraged mother to breastfeed for 2 years, emphasizing this practice as beneficial for the child's development. Next. So what we want to solve, actually, we want to produce a product that use our local resource, which is a virgin coconut oil, and we already processed the patent in Malaysia, okay, to solve the breastfeeding pain during breastfeeding mother. So our objective next, to develop a wound patch using virgin coconut oil as the main ingredient. But for your information, no factory in Malaysia can produce this wound patch in a bulk order. This is our struggle to make sure the prototype become reality product. And then to reduce the healing time of breast wound for breastfeeding mother and to offer a safer and more effective alternative. Okay, next. So the significance of this study actually to improve breastfeeding experience, to give natural and effective alternative, to give support for maternal health, promotion of sustainable practice, and align with Islamic values. Okay, so next. So my dakwah in breastfeeding field to educate, to give dakwah to a lot of Muslim mother to understand what is the benefit of breastfeeding that already stated in Al-Quran. So this is our result for conducting in vitro lab. Okay, this research is conducted in a post-test experiment. So it recorded that 12.5 milligram of ml virgin coconut oil can heal the wound in just 24 hours. Next. So based on the literature, okay, so this wound healing, okay, you can see the numbers of 12.5, okay, can heal the wound within 24 hours only. Okay, next. So the comparison of BCO with other treatment based on the literature review, we compare with breast milk because breast milk have properties that can heal the wound as a natural product, lanolin from the sheep, and the aloe vera. So we recorded that BCO, our local resource, is a superior wound healing compared to breast milk, lanolin, and aloe vera. So next. So, aligning research with Islamic teaching on sustainability. So as we know, virgin coconut oil is a natural, halal and tayyiban, and beneficial remedy that support breastfeeding and wound healing. So by using VCO, actually we promote sustainability by reducing waste and supporting the local economy. So VCO also contribute to ethical healthcare by reducing reliance on synthetic materials. Overall, our research support Islamic values of environmental stewardship and maternal care. Next. So as a conclusion, from this research study, virgin coconut oil-based wound patch offer a viable solution for breastfeeding challenge. So our hope, this product will become an effective, affordable, and sustainable for every breastfeeding mother in Malaysia to get it. And then in the further research of this study, we hope that we can align with Ministry of Health, okay, and then all the hospitals in Malaysia, and all the government sector and private throughout Malaysia or in Japan to help all the breastfeeding mother who had this very bad experience or very pain breastfeeding experience to use this kind of product to help them to make sure they go through the happier breastfeeding journey. That's all. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you to Ms. Nadia for the presentation. Now I would like to open for Q&A session for all presenters. If you have any questions, and for those who want to pray Asar first, then you can go on. Is there any question for our presenters?
Have you guys started manufacturing those patches yet?
Not yet, because the factory in Malaysia cannot do it because the machine is cost $500,000. The machine only, because this is the first innovative product. So no other wound patch produced like this one. So no factory in Malaysia can do it. So I have gone through other factory outside from Malaysia. Maybe if you have any friends in outside, you can tell me. Thank you.
Does anyone have any other question? If nobody has any question, then if nobody has any question, I will close the session right now, and then we continue next session after Asar. Okay? Huh?
10 minutes.
Oh, a question.
Question. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Yes, question to you. Yes.
Yeah.
So, what is the reason it's so difficult for mothers in Malaysia to agree with the importance of
Breastfeeding. I already predict this kind of question will come up from the Japanese people. Because in Japan, breastfeeding rates are very high, it's very successful because the good support from the government sector. But in Malaysia, the use of formula milk is a very spread throughout Malaysia. I know here, the use of formula milk must prescribed by the doctor, but not in Malaysia, they can reach the formula milk very easy. And then, the first thing first, to get the formula milk is very easy. The second one, because their lack of knowledge, they didn't know that the smaller quantity of breast milk at the early beginning of after labor is normal. So all the mother think they have a little milk, so it's not enough for their baby.
Who spread the
Who spread?
use of
Yes.
formula milk?
Okay, who spread the formula milk? Government sector.
Companies.
Yes, that's why. This is our struggle in Malaysia. So I have to involve because of the Fardu Kifaya, because I'm the only company in this as a Muslim that produce my own breastfeeding product named as a New Mom. So because nobody Muslim at Malaysia, so I have to take the responsibility because if not, all the Malaysian I can get the seed, right? That's I really hope this kind of presentation can open a lot of mind throughout all the doctors, professors, and so on. And I don't know how we can maybe collaborate from Malaysia and Japan for this one to make sure this problem is sent to our Ministry of Health. Thank you so much.
Any other question?
No, question. Different speakers.
Different speaker. Okay. What is the question?
To the Sheikh? No, the first.
Better the first.
My question to Dr. Alwan. Then to the Sheikh. I was wondering what made Malaysian people stick with the Arabic original phrase of the Salawat Kamila for centuries. And I mean, what made them fully convinced to keep on doing the Salawat Kamila with Arabic original phrases without using the translation version, for example?
Actually, Salawat Kamila is not new in Johor, but found by our Sheikh, our ulama, khususan akidah Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah, Syekh Abdul Bazden, Min Haujakan, wa Alawiyah, our Mufti, first Mufti in Johor, Habib Salim bin Ahmad Wafaz. So, actually, this salawat is قبل هذا يعني مشهور جدا في جوهر حتى نستمر على جميع الأولاد، ولهذا لا نستطيع أن نترجم مشاهد. طبعا يعني ما في مشكلة
هذا يدل على مستوى عالي في فهم اللغة العربية لدى أهل المغرب.
الحمد لله تبدأ من البداية، يعني في أول البداية من الصغير يقرأ صلوات بالغنى.
نعم، هنيئا لكم. هنيئا لكم
إن شاء الله. ولكن نحن لا نشعر زي أخونا هذا يوسف عشان دائما يدعو بالسوشيال ميديا. I want you are one of the friends. إن شاء الله نحن سنقرأ معا بكرة قبل ختام هذه الجلسة إن شاء الله. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يجعلنا من أهل العلم والذكر والصلاة والزيادة آمين يا رب العالمين. شكرا لكم يا أخونا، ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينتشئ الدعوة، انتشار الدعوة الإسلامية في اليابان بأسبابكم وبأسباب صلواتكم إن شاء الله آمين يا رب العالمين.
Now we'll close the Q&A session for Salat Asr.
Insya Allah.